Well, thank you. It's great to be with you. Please be seated. I will echo what Marty said. It's nice to have so many people here on what I think is a very significant announcement. And as part of our administration, as you all know, we've been very laser-like in our focus for economic development. And we've had great success. And a lot of the people that are here today are a part of that great success. And we appreciate you being here and taking time today as we make this announcement. I see a lot of our friends here. Where's Mel Levitt, chairman of our GoEd board, and the members of the board that are here with us. We appreciate you and what you've done in so many different ways. Lane Beatty, the president of the Salt Lake Valley Chamber of Commerce, and some of his board members are here also. Where's Derek Miller? Derek, right here, my former chief of staff, and now the president CEO of the World Trade Center. Again, part of our expanded team effort now as Derek's gone on to some other areas of responsibility. Jeff Edwards, our partner, very much at the Economic Development Corporation of Utah. Again, the GoEd office in Edis, Utah, really very much in sync when it comes to what we need to do and what we're doing in Utah to provide economic opportunity and expansion here for our economy of Utah. And we appreciate Jeff and all of his staff that are part of this. We have Robert Spenlove. Where are you here? One of our, in the back. Again, a former part of my staff and really representing the legislature here today, which we could not have the success we're having in Utah without a legislature who understands the importance of empowerment of the private sector. That wealth creation really comes from the private sector, those risk takers, those wealth creators, those entrepreneurs out there who really are finding niches in the marketplace to be successful. And the legislature is helping us create an environment second to none in this country when it comes to economic opportunity. And really most entrepreneurs are just looking for opportunity. And we've provided that environment here in Utah. So we have many distinguished guests here, which you are a part of, and we welcome you. Let me just, as I get into the transition and the announcement, where's Spencer Eccles? Spencer, right over here. Spencer has been with me really since the beginning of this administration. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, my focus as we came in to take on this responsibility was the economy. The unemployment rate at the time was 8.4%. And so the challenge for us really was to, in fact, turn around the economy and make it better and more positive and create job opportunities for people of Utah. And under Spencer's leadership and his leadership team, we now have, as of a week ago, the announcement that our unemployment rate is now down to 3.5%. Significant change in the economic environment over these last 5 years under Spencer's leadership and his leadership team, and I appreciate his good work, and it's nice for him to be here as we kind of pass the baton on to the new director of GoEd. Under Spencer's leadership, we've had unprecedented partnerships with the private sector and some of our great companies, and again, working hand in glove together for the good of all of Utah and economic opportunity and improving our quality of life. And that really starts with a healthy economy. We've had expansion of existing businesses and the birth of new businesses here in the state of Utah during this time that have been remarkable. And just to mention a few, with Boeing's of the world, Pepperidge Farms, Oriental Overseas Container Limited, Goldman Sachs, Procter & Gamble, Adobe. The names roll off the tongue, but the list is long of the successes we've had economically over these last 5 years. And it's not just about these companies, it's really about the jobs they create, high-paying jobs, opportunities for people to have wages that support themselves and their families, again, created by this economic expansion. Under Spencer's leadership, we've had increased accountability of our GoEd office. There's more transparency, there's more involvement, there's more interplay with the private sector, as well as oversight by the government sector to make sure that how we do things, we're doing them correctly. and that we are in fact staying with the legislation provided with us by the legislature and doing things in ways that will not jeopardize the taxpayer, but provide incentive for the entrepreneur to be successful and choose Utah as a place to have their life-elevated businesses to take place. We've strengthened our outreach to our rural communities too. It's not just along the Wasatch Front, but it is in the rural parts of Utah. When you look at Box Elder with Procter & Gamble building their first plant in over 40 years in North America and choosing Utah and a rural part of Utah at that to expand, where this Lighthouse Foods down in Hurricane in the southern part of our state, our GAF and Cyberjet, our first Utah-built jet airplane here coming out of Cedar City. We see the outreach efforts of economic development are not just in the urban parts of Utah, but the rural parts of Utah as well. We clearly understand that Spencer is going to go on to some other new things and provide economic opportunities going into the venture capital business. Again, an effort that we've emphasized in Utah in trying to bring in more capital to be the fuel that helps us start and grow businesses here in Utah. Capital has been concentrated in California, but now we see it now moving more and more towards Utah as they see this is a fertile field to invest money and get a healthy return, and chances of success are greater in Utah than about any place now in America when it comes to starting up a new business or expanding an existing business. We'll continue to emphasize, as is our goal, that we want to have Utah be the best state for business in America and a premier global business destination. We understand that the marketplace now is not just confined to Utah borders or even here in America, but is now international in its scope. And we expect to be successful in all of the opportunities we have around the globe when it comes to economic opportunity. And last, let me just say I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Sophia DeCaro. Sophia has been Spencer's right hand in so many of the efforts that have been done here. She's been the acting deputy director for GoEd in Spencer's absence here as we've announced his retirement. She's going to be staying on through the transition that we're going to announce today for a period of time until she will have an opportunity to. She's running for the state legislature, wants to be a colleague along with Robert and others there, and so she'll be concentrating on her campaign and will be leaving her assignment at GoEd to do that. We thank them both and their leadership team, members of the GoEd board, and all of you for the great successes we've had here in Utah up to this date, which has given us the second fastest growing economy in the nation, second only to North Dakota, which is all energy all the time. That's not a bad thing, by the way, but we know why North Dakota is leading the nation economically. It's not as well known why Utah is. Good principles and good values in place have provided this fertile environment for economic success, which now has made us the second fastest growing economy with the second lowest unemployment rate. And along that same line, we've diversified our economy so that we're now the fourth most diversified economy. That's one that is really something I'm grateful for. It means that we don't have all of our economic eggs in one basket. There's a reason for us to be very optimistic when it comes to the future of Utah economically, because we have so many different options available to us and growing in all of those options. That being said, our work is not done. There's still yet work to be done as we work to maintain ourselves as this best place in America for business, as we want to make sure that anybody who wants to have a job has an opportunity to have a good job. That comes from creating an economic environment that's conducive to the entrepreneur, but also making sure that our labor force has the skills necessary to be able to compete not only in today's market but tomorrow's marketplace as we have a more global competition than we've ever had before. Those are things that we'll continue to focus on. And so in order to do that and to take us to the next level, I'm pleased to announce today, accompanied by his great and wonderful wife, Nancy, that Val Hale will take over as the new Executive Director of the Governor's Office of Economic Development. Well, Val, we take that applause as a vote of confidence from those assembled here, and he knows that he has my confidence. I've known Val for a long time. He's the kind of quality individual you'd like to have in this job, who recognizes that it's not just going to be himself doing the work, that it's going to be a team effort of bringing people together and forming partnerships, economic opportunity being provided by the private sector, which grows the wealth, which creates the jobs. He understands those important principles. He's developed his skills as a leader at Brigham Young University in the athletic department. He honed those skills and played a key role at Utah Valley University in bringing it into prominence in our state university system and making it not only a four-year university, but a university in total. And most recently, he's been involved in helping bring the Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce to new heights of success as the leader of the Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce. So I know he's not a stranger to most of you in the business world because of his involvement there, but it'll be kind of a new name for many around the great state of Utah. He understands that hard work is at the heart and soul of any successful endeavor. And I've known Val for a long time, and I know that hard work is not anything that he's a stranger to. It's part of his makeup. He's a hard worker. He was an athlete himself and had to work hard to compete on the athletic field. He's known how to compete as a business person with his university involvement and most recently with the Chamber of Commerce. So he understands the nature of competition. He does not want to see Utah be anything better than worse than number one. Competition is keen out there and growing. He also understands the important role that everybody plays, not only the private sector, but those local government officials, whether they be county commissioners and county elected officials or mayors and city council people, working with others of the private sector, but specifically working with the legislature. His involvement with the legislature in the past is legendary, and he understands that process well, which is going to serve him as we continue the great relationship that we have with GOAD with our state legislature. His extensive experience will help him be collaborative in his efforts, and we're certainly wanting to make sure that we listen to the private sector and hear their concerns, what they are, and what we can do together to make sure that we maintain a great environment for business to be successful. It's a key to success in quality of life, and it's a key to success in other endeavors that we think are important to we the people, whether it be education, infrastructure development, health and human services. It can only happen, it certainly happens best, when we have a healthy economy to build upon. Val understands that, and he's the man, the right man at the right time to take on this challenge. So I'm proud of the work that we've done under Spencer's leadership and others who've been with him. Derek Miller was over as part of that before. He's my chief of staff. There's just so many that have got their fingerprints on so many good things we've done economically in this state. But we have more to do. We have challenges of competition amongst the other states who say we want to do what Utah is doing. And isn't that a great thing about free market competition? It's going to make us all be just a little bit better. The man to lead us is Val Hale. And so I'm pleased to introduce to you the new Director of the Governor's Office of Economic Development, Mr. Val Hale.